So I want to show you what I want to end up with to begin with. So what we're doing is we're setting up an environment for Airflow. This is using the most up-to-date packages, libraries that we have to date, 24th of July 2021. So this is the kind of environment that I want to end up with. So the web interface for Airflow, and you can open up a DAG here and go into it. And this is just a very simple one where you just see the graph view here, start, end. So something like this, just to have an environment to end up with. That's what I want to be able to show you how to set up. So if I go into here, I can just delete this. Actions, delete here. So now this whole environment here, this is what we want to end up with. So this is just a web interface. I will stop this now, and I will just use Control-C to just interrupt that. That's the scheduler window, and then I'll interrupt this as well with just Control-C. So that has closed out that, and then if I refresh this, then you see that the whole thing has just closed down. And that's what I'm going to do now, just close all of this down, and then this is the environment that I have. And I'm going to just delete this environment and then recreate it with all these instructions that are going to be in with this video at the bottom of this video. So the first thing here to do is just delete this. And then what do I move to rubbish bin? So what do I have to do first? First, I'm going to just assume that what we have installed here on this Ubuntu virtual machine that is sitting on Windows 10, what we already have on this Ubuntu, and it's the latest version of Ubuntu as well. What do we have here? It is, come down here, you'll see that it's Ubuntu 21.04. I'm just showing you my versions of everything because these things always keep changing and you have to keep updating them. So that's the version that I'm on now. So just check that that is the same as you. If not, you can maybe use a different one. Maybe you can get some updates. And then so this here is the install that I'm going to do. I'm going to assume that you have Python 3 installed, Anaconda, using Anaconda virtual environment, and you're going to, now we're just going to make the environment. So if you don't have all that set up, you just go into this place here, go and download Anaconda, and you download an sh file, and then you use bash to install it. So there's some instructions for that as well here if you don't have that set up, but I'm assuming that you have. So then what we do now is we open a terminal window. Open out a terminal window. I'll put it here. And then we first cd over to a desktop, the desktop. There we go. So we're in there. So we're going to create the environment on the desktop. So we're going to make a directory here in Airflow. In the desktop, we call it Airflow tutorial, and you'll see it's been made there behind that. And then we'll change into that directory that we've just created. So using Control and Shift and then C for V for paste, and Control Shift C for copy. And now we're going to create a virtual environment. So these things that are commented out are the instructions. So, and the actual things that you have to paste in are the things that are just underneath them. So open our terminal window. Yeah, so that's about right. And I'll save that. So now what we have to do is just create this environment using this instruction here. Press enter. And then it says something already exists. So yes, I've done it a few times. You might get that, you might not. Then that goes away, starts creating it. And then all of this, I say yes as well. And then that's it's done. So then you activate the environment. Let's just put a comment on that header there as well. Copy this. And then paste that in. So that's done that there. And then I'll print out the path here. And I see that is my path here. And yeah, so you should get something like this. And then set the path by doing this. Export this here. This is what you need to do to set the path here. This one. Then that's done. And then you have to install some dependencies. So I'm going to just copy this line here. Paste that in. And there we go. Put in a password. This is my password, sudo password. And then that's done. So now a few more things that I need to install here. And I'm just going to do it as though it's just going to get the latest one. So I'm not going to put the version in. But after, I can just show you, I would put the version in for some of these things after, actually. So I just want to check the version. I could have put the version in behind of this, and I'll show you what this version is here. So the version here is here is 3941. So that's what I have here. That's GCC actually. Okay. Okay, interesting. Let me just do that. Let me just clear all that. So this is dev pi dev. This is this one 3941. Okay, let's see. I got this. Copy this. So this is what I get when I do this. Just to let you know the versions of the things that I'm getting. And if I do this as well, then this is 4.10.30. So I should just copy this here and just copy this. Let's put this here. So that's just getting the versions just to check that you have the same versions, and these are the versions that I'm using. So then the next thing really, and that's just, these are indented here in the code. And then here, what you can do is just get the latest version of these things to be installed. Install all this stuff, goes away and installs it. Alternatively, you can use pip install here and then put the version 2.12 at the end with after 2 equal signs here. and that will install it to this actual version that we will go and check actually to see, using this indented part, to see if we get exactly the version. But now I'm just saying get the latest one at this particular date that we have here. So that's done. So let's see what version we have, and it should be 2.1.2. Hopefully. Okay, it's there, but let me just do clear, because sometimes it's a bit hard to see with all these things. So 2.1.2, that's what we have here installed, and that's what I expected. So then the next thing here is to install these things: cryptography, pip install cryptography, and also PySpark here. And then let's check, we can, when that's done, we can check the version, or you can use particular versions like this, the same as well with the ints equals and 347 or 3.1.2, and you can show the versions like this. I will show my versions just like this. That is 347 here, and then this one PySpark should be 3.1.2. 3.1.2. And so you can validate your Airflow by going like this: Airflow validate version. Then you get 2.1.2. And so that's it. That's the actual install done. And now this is something that you will do each time you go and start up the environment. So I can close out of this, and then this will be like each time I come in here, this is what I will do. So I can exit this and then just open out a new window, completely new. And there's two things that I need to start. So the first, we're starting up the web server and the scheduler now. So starting up Airflow. So the first thing that we will do in a fresh session is we will go and cd to this folder that is holding our environment. Then I will activate it like this. Then I will, each time I need to do this, I need to export the environment variable like this. Then I need to initialize the database. And so that's done. When that's done, then what I need to do only for the first time when I'm running this is I need to create a username and password. So this stuff you can just change each time. I keep changing all the time just to make it whatever, something that I want. Just change the password to that, and you can make up your own password, make it whatever you want. Then make up your own username as well, but I'm going to use the admin one, so I'm going to paste this stuff in here. Obviously use a different password, and I will keep changing mine as well. So new user, whatever, then it's created that as an admin. So now what we do here is we can start the web server. So that starts the web server. Airflow comes up like this, and then we have to do the same thing here for another window, similar but something different at the end. So the thing that we have to do that is slightly different at the end is just to start the scheduler. So we have to go through these steps again, and I'll show you a quicker way of doing this. Actually, I'll shut it down and I'll show you a quicker way of doing all of this, because you can just do it all in one go, really. then you get up to this part here, and then initialize database, and then I do, it's already initialized really. Then then you branch out here and you go into the second step, and you need to do is this thing here, export Flask to development, so that it knows that it's a development environment. Otherwise it'll give you a warning saying this is a development environment in red. And then we oops, didn't paste that properly, and we start the scheduler. So now what that's done is it's should have started the Airflow scheduler, and now we can go into this place here. We can come into here on our web browser, and then what we should have is an environment. And then what we need to do here for the first time is to put in our admin, our user. So our user was this here, admin, and our password was here, this one here, which hopefully yours will be different. And then you can see some of these things here. So this folder, this is a folder actually, this DAG. All the things in here reflect what is in a particular folder in here, which is inside your environment. Let me just minimize this because I want to come to this later. So you can do is minimize these things. Then here you have this folder that was created, and then inside here you can create a folder called DAGs. DAGS. Then inside DAGs you can put some DAGs, and we're going to get to creating DAGs later, but for now I'm just going to paste some in and then show you how they appear in the web interface. So I have some backup of these somewhere here, this one here. So I'm just going to copy this one and this one and this one, copy, and just paste them in here. And then what should happen is after a little while, you should refresh this, and it should pick it up. All right. It takes a little while sometimes. Click the DAGs, browse, and DAGs, browse, and then let's just see. Okay, so what we can do is stop the scheduler and then restart it again. Schedule here, come back here, and where are these things? So it should really just pick them up from there. So if it doesn't do that, then let's have a look. What else? Public create user flow. Interesting. Ah, here we go. After a while, it has come, and then you can see there's a new DAG here. So basically, it takes quite a while to do that. And then there's another one here, my DAG here. And there's another way that I wanted to show you to actually start all this stuff that's slightly quicker. So you just have to paste two of these things in. So instead of doing all of this stuff here, like here, step by step, all of this stuff here. What I've done is sort of just condensed it into 2 steps here. So really what we can do is just stop this, and okay, Control C to stop this as well. So now I've killed airflow. So if I come in here, refresh that, there's no airflow anymore. So what I can do to start it, what I can do is just come in here, open out one new terminal, open out another new terminal. I always need 2 new terminals. So in the first one, I'm going to start my web server, which is just copying all of this stuff. So never mind that there's new lines and things like that. Just copy the whole thing. Control copy, copy, and paste. And this also sort of directs to the right folder and everything. And then just, even though it's got new lines, just press enter. Then this starts. And then when you've got this kind of stuff coming up, then your web server has started. And then for this as well, do the same kind of thing. For this stuff that's just under the comment, copy all of that, highlight all of that, copy it, and then paste that in there. And then okay, that's it. And then now you can just refresh this, and then you'll see the DAGs are in here. So that's an easier way of starting all of this stuff. And then in here, it's the same as before, right? With this kind of a DAG here. And then you come in here, you have this start end DAG that just started, and it just ran a little bit here, as you can see, and it's all working. So you can delete it as well, delete the run. You can come back here, it's still here. And so this is Airflow. And this is what we've done. We have just gone through deleting everything. So just really basically starting from scratch, just basically an installation of Anaconda and on a Ubuntu VM. And that's all we have that I started off with after I deleted everything. And then from there, I just rebuilt everything that is needed to create the Airflow environment here in July 2021. Who knows how things will change in the future, but this is how it's working for me at the moment. And I'm going to put these instructions up so that anyone can also set this up as well. And I will also come back and update this kind of thing every now and then to make sure that it's still working. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.